In this video, I'm going to talk about the biggest mistake I've made on the job. Last week, I promised I was going to make this video, and none of us like to talk about our mistakes, but I agreed to do this, so we're going to jump right into the story. It has to do with email. And maybe some of you out there can relate because it's really easy to make mistakes with email. One of the great things about email is that it's so easy to use. It's so easy to send messages to people all over the world with a click of a button. But because it's so easy to use, it's also very easy to make a mistake. And I made a big one. The other piece of this story is that whenever you have a job that involves accounting or finance, you have access to a lot of sensitive company information. And so you have to be very careful on who you give this information to. At this point, you can probably guess where this story is going, but let's jump into it now. This happened early on in my career. So I hadn't been working that long. I was at a position where I was working 12-hour shifts. So I'd come into my office at 7 a.m. and leave at 7 p.m. 5 days a week. And so I walked into my office, it was 7 a.m., I sit down at my desk, and I get a frantic phone call from my boss. So I'm on the phone with my boss, and he just starts yelling at me. There's this really important email I need to send out right now. And so he explains I need to go into the company servers, find this electronic file, attach it to an email, and send it out to this very, very important person. So that's what I did. I hung up the phone, I went into the computer system, searched around for a while, and I found this electronic file. So I attached it to an email, hit send, and went about my day. Well, 10 minutes later, all hell broke loose. I get another phone call back from my boss saying, "What did you do?" At this point, I have no idea what's going on. But I quickly put the pieces together and realized that I had attached the wrong file to this email that I sent out. To make matters worse, the file that I attached contained sensitive company financial information. To make matters worse, the very, very important person I sent this to was somebody who the company was currently negotiating a big deal with. And so this was a massive mistake. Have you ever done anything wrong where you felt this sinking feeling in your stomach? That's how I felt at that moment. I had this wave of fear wash over me, and I was convinced I was going to get fired on the spot. In fact, to be honest, I probably should have been fired for that mistake, but I wasn't. What ended up happening was I had several what I'll call extreme coaching sessions with my bosses at the time. This mistake was a massive learning experience for me. And what I learned was to be very careful with the emails that I send out. Now, I'm actually really glad this happened to me so early on into my career because this was such a beneficial lesson for me to learn. When I look back on this mistake, now that I have some perspective, I can see that there was actually a lot going on in this example. There was some systematic problems in the business. One of them being which it wasn't my responsibility to send out the email in the first place. But I can really take responsibility for my part in the mistake, which was that I was the person who sent out the email. So my advice to business people is to avoid this situation and be very thoughtful about the emails you send out. Don't send out an email without fully reviewing any attachment and understanding what is being sent and who is the recipient. If you don't know those two things, do not send the email. So that was my big mistake. One of the reasons I wanted to make this video was I wanted to show you that we all make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes in your career. The point is that you want to learn from your mistakes and use those experiences to become better business people. Everyone's career is a journey, and everybody stumbles, everybody struggles, but you will get through it. And a decade from now, you will be able to tell the story of the biggest mistake in your career. If you have ever struggled with email, leave a comment down below and let me know about your experience. If you like this video, if you found it helpful, click on the subscribe button. The best way to supercharge a business is through accounting and corporate finance, and I release a new video every week, so come back and check out next week's video.